one of my subscribers, Fancy Schmancy Blonde, asked me to do a tutorial, a very detailed tutorial for job interview makeup. So this is exactly that. As you can see, it's super natural because in my mind, job interview makeup is the kind of makeup that is supposed to, kind of like wedding makeup, it's supposed to make you look your best, but without kind of overpowering you, right? So you want the focus to be on you. You want people to look in your eyes when you speak rather than at your eyeshadow, and you want them to listen to you rather than kind of, you know, pay too much attention to your makeup, even if they were to admire it. So it's very, very natural. There's a little bit of shimmer on the eyelid, but a matte contour color in the crease, a matte blush, and just a little bit of sheen to the lipstick. So there's a mix of different textures, but overall it's a very natural look. So I'm starting with my eyebrows, and I use a palette of brow powders like this from Revlon, and I mix the two lighter shades together. And I use a Polidorf eyebrow brush to apply the powders to my eyebrows. I apply a little bit of eyeshadow base. This one's by Lumen. It's my favorite. All over the eye. As a base for my powder eyeshadow, I am using a Maybelline color definer, which is essentially a ripoff of MAC Shade Stick in the color Satin Draggy, which is just a very light beige cream eyeshadow. A very good substitute for that is actually L'Oreal Hip Cream Shadow Paint in Secretive. And on the pricier side, MAC Bare Study Paint Pot. I'm going to use this eyeshadow by Stila first. This is their eyeshadow in Wheat, and it's just a shimmery light beige color. And I'm just pressing it everywhere when I put the cream eyeshadow. This is a very neutral color, just to define the eye and open it up. Since it's a light shimmery color, it will open up the eye. Now, to make sure that my contour eyeshadow goes on smoothly, I'm going to use this eyeshadow by Clinique. This is Buttermilk, and it's a completely matte off-white color. Just using a fluffy blending brush. This isn't kind of my highlight per se. This is just something that will smooth out the eyelid. So a dark eyeshadow will go on easier with no harsh lines. To define my crease and my outer eye, I'm going to use this eyeshadow by MAC. This is Dark Edge, and it's a satin. It's almost completely matte. It's just got a little bit of a sheen to it. Anything which is a cool brown, cool medium toned brown will do. So I'm putting just a tiny little bit on the tip of my brush. I'm tilting my head back so I can see better. And I'm going to place that with a MAC 222 brush directly in my crease. And I'm blending it inwards. I just want the slightest bit of definition in my crease and my outer corner to give the eye kind of a three-dimensional quality, but without screaming makeup. You want to look polished and seem like you made an effort, but you want people to look at your eyes rather than your eye makeup. And with whatever's left on my brush, I'm just shading near my outer lash line. I'm just going to add the tiniest little bit in my very outer corner and blend it out properly. You want it almost to look like a shadow, a natural shadow, rather than eyeshadow. reapplying a tiny bit of my Stila Wheat eyeshadow in the inner corner in case I lost a bit of it. For my highlight, I'm going to use Next to Nothing by MAC. And it's an off-white with pinkish undertones. It's very neutral as well, so I'm just concentrating on putting that just beneath my brow. For liner, I'm using Clinique Cream Shaper for eyes in Mink. This is an eye kohl, so it's very, very soft. And I'm drawing a very thin line in my inner corner and a slightly thicker line as I get to my outer corner. This gives the eye a very natural shape. Since this is an eye kohl, the line is a bit jagged, so I'm going to go over it with the dark edge eyeshadow that I used to contour the outer corner of my eye. So I'm just using that dry to set the cream eye shaper and to smooth out the line. And that is actually it for the eyeshadow application. So the eye is very natural yet defined. Yeah, and I think it's very appropriate for a job interview. So I'm just going to add a generous layer of brown mascara. For my face, I'm starting out with a primer, and I use Monishtat Anti-Chafing Powder Gel. And I just rub it all over my face. Small amounts all over my face, blend it with my fingers, and this gives the skin amazing texture. It's so smooth, and foundation glides on beautifully and effortlessly. It's great if you have a foundation that tends to not blend very well. Blending brush, eye blending brush, Vitamin E Face Mist, and I use Polidor concealer in Sun and Earth. For a job interview, you want to look well slept and energetic, and this opens up the eye and makes you look like you actually slept a lot, even if you didn't. Specifically for a job interview, you want your skin to look like your skin, but just better, or the best it's ever looked. So I'm going to combine two different finishes of foundation. This is Clinique Super Moisture, which gives a very kind of luminous glow finish to the skin. And this is one by La Roche-Posay. They make excellent sunscreens, and here in Poland they also have a makeup line available. And this is a completely matte foundation. Sigma SS197 brush, Vitamin E Face Mist. And I just apply it to my skin. I stipple it on first. You can see how great coverage it gives. I start with my cheeks because they're my problem area. And then I stipple it on to the rest of my face. What I love about this brush more than anything, even more than the fact that it's so insanely soft and comfortable to use, is the fact that it's so dense that you don't have to look for, you don't have to make sure that you blended the foundation out properly. There's just no possibility of leaving any streaks with this brush since it's so dense. And it fits quite nicely into the crevices of the skin as well. To set my foundation, I'm using Clinique Blended Powder in Transparency Free. I have a lot of redness, and this is a yellow toned powder, so and I just use the Clinique Powder Foundation brush, which is a flat, fluffy brush. Smaller brush, but the same product, to set my under eye concealer. I like a really, really natural blush for a job interview makeup, so I'm going for a very natural peach color from Clinique. This is their blushing powder blush in Innocent Peach. And I'm placing it on the apples of my cheeks and blending it towards my temples. This is a very light color. If you're darker skin toned, I would go for a deeper version of peach. I want my lipstick to correspond to the blush color, so I'm using Clinique High Impact lip color in Honey Blush, which is an apricot color, kind of like a peach with gold shimmer. More like a sheen than shimmer really. And I'm going to use it with a Sephora cream eyeshadow brush, a small brush. I find it works better than a regular lip brush. It's usually flatter and wider, so I don't know, my personal preference. And this is actually the finished look. I hope you like it, I hope it was useful, and I shall see you soon.